excited to share this journey with you. This is a space of kindness and encouragement, so let's be welcoming to everyone looking to better themselves. If you have questions, drop them in the chat or use the super chat to make sure it gets addressed. Thank you for being a part of our community. Let's make it a great night. Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon. I am very much late, and I apologize, much to Terry Girl's chagrin. I don't know if I have really any practiced excuses. I haven't had a lot of time to do that yet, as I have been going since my feet hit the floor this morning to get the girl up, ready, make her breakfast, take her to school, go to Walmart to get some things that I knew I needed to get. Then I had to hop across town to get a prescription that was filled incorrectly yesterday, to come all the way back on this side of town to get it filled, and then to wait and wait and wait while they filled the prescription to make it back here on time to hang out with all of you wonderful people. So I don't necessarily know if that's an excuse, but it's just the way it is. That's how I see it. That's my life. This is my first sip of coffee of the morning. Much needed. It's been a long day already. Here we go. I love you people, but hey, I'm a little late, and that's all right, because that's what I do. As you can see, Chandra will not be joining me today, as she is both under the weather as well as on her way with the daughter to go to the doctor all the way downtown to get some kind of checkup. I don't know what's going on. I will know more when they get back. But anyway, I didn't have a lot planned for today just because of the fact that Chandra wasn't going to be here. I didn't know I was going to be this late. I had set it initially for 10 a.m. and then realized that I'd have to go across town and pick up that prescription, which means that I had to go like a half hour each way to pick up the prescription. And then while I was up there, there is a restaurant called Swig, that does drinks, right? If you've heard of Swig, let me know in the comments. But I had to pick up a gift card for one of Chandra's coworkers. I doubt they're watching my stream, but if you are one of Chandra's coworkers watching the stream and you like Swig, then that's probably what you're getting in your little whatever it is for people that at your workplace, things that happen and all the stuff. Anyway, so I got that. That took time. Then on the way back, then I went all the way to our Walgreens, and the lady was like, "This might take, you want to come back?" I'm like, 20 minutes? Come on, and they're like, "We got to call the doctor." And I'm like, "It's eardrops. It's not like I'm trying to get some oxy up in here, okay? It's eardrops." But anyway, it's weird how like we go from one extreme to the other, where they're like, "Here, have a pile," to we need to check and double check and crisscross our I's and T's for every little thing that we give out. Anyway, because so what had happened initially with the initial prescription, the one that they gave to Chandra last night, they wanted like $90 with it after her insurance, as well as with the GoodRx as well. And that was just not going to do. So we get a different one, and that was $9. So that was a much better thing. Is who has money to spend $90 on a prescription? But anyway, Amy was here. She says, "Sorry, friends, but I have a 10 a.m. meeting. I will try to stop by after, but wanted to stop in and say hi." But here we are. Hopefully her meeting is long overdue. It is 12:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December the 9th. We are 10 days from having our granddaughter. I am excited, nervous, and all of the seven dwarfs. Carrie is here. Good morning, my friend. Afternoon. Good morning, afternoon. It's all interchangeable. I mean, whatever. It's what it is. Whoo. Carrie says, "I am not paying attention today. Sorry about not seeing the time till now. I can listen to the live when it starts at 11:05 at noon. I have to go out the door. So he is going to be hanging out here for a little bit with us, probably just a little bit. Leave at noon to drive to work, noon his time. So he's got about a little bit like less than like 39 minutes to hang out with us today with traffic and all that stuff. But, you know, we've got Rick in the house. That was a little louder than I like.
Let's get dangerous.
There we go. Welcome, Rick. Glad to see you, my friend. Oh, let's see. Sherry says, good morning, all. Sorry to hear about Chandra. Not feeling well. I am so fortunate to rarely get sick. She doesn't get sick. But I don't understand how she got an outer ear infection. But that's what we have. That's what we are. That's what it is. Only 2 times since 2016. But usually I don't get sick that often either. But when I do, it's like I'm down for the count. So I don't know, what would you rather? Let me know in the comments. Would you rather get like a little sick every once in a while or not, and then just get hammered like 2 times every 5 years or whatever? But like when I'm down and I'm sleeping for like 3 days. So let me know. Let me know what you would prefer. Would you rather go a long time without having any little illnesses, or have little illnesses along the way without having any severe, like down for the count, missing 3-4 days of your life? Let me know what you want. Let me know. I'm here. But Sherry goes on to say, now I am not around people much also. Poor Chandra works in a petri dish of germs. Not to mention we have a granddaughter who goes to a petri dish of, little kids are petri dishes. So she brings home all of it. So I'd like to think that our immune systems are far better suited than they once were, hanging out with these little children who bring home everything, because they don't even like, she doesn't like washing her hands. She doesn't understand why she has to wash her hands. She fights us about it. She doesn't like she doesn't want to bathe. She's like, what do I have to shower? She would wear the same thing every day, not shower, just be stinky. She'd be like Pigpen should we let her. But how it is, like probably tough to stay healthy, sending well wishes. She feels better soon. Me too, because she's a dick when she's sick. Yeah. I get nicer when I'm sick. She does not. You know how it is. You know how you get to figure out your spouses. 22 cute cats in the house. Lynn, hello. Good morning, Dustin and all. Sorry to hear about Chandra. I hope she feels better. Me too, because she's a dick. Oh, my goodness. Sherry Lynn is in the house. She says, good morning, afternoon. Hope you feel better, Chandra. Getting everything together to make lemon pizzelles. No, not keto ones. And yes, I will be eating them. Sounds delicious. Will you send me some photos of those? I think they look so cool. Send me some photos. I want to see what they look like. I love them. Oh, Bride's Biscuits in the house. Good morning. In like Flynn. Good morning, Dustin. So firm. Yes. Carrie says, I had some free food from work last night. Free is always the best. Last night was spaghetti. I know it's loaded with carbs. I ate some last night with new meds and actually slept through the night. Only got up twice. Oh my goodness. I always get up at least twice every night, no matter what I do, right? Carrie says, I hope you have 2 coffees, 1 for each hand. I didn't have time to make it. I don't even have the Buc-ee's cup. Just have the little lavender cup that I have right here. Brian's Biscuit says, oh no, make a double Buc-ee's. I actually do have 2 of those mugs. Brian's Biscuit says, get one like those 48-ounce tumblers. Those are hard to wash. Everything's hard to wash when they get to be that size, and then there's straws involved, and you got a handle, and it's just dumb. I don't like it. Cherry Girl says, good morning, Dustin and all. Cold and foggy here in California this morning. California. And Bride's Biscuits over here bragging. Finally hit below freezing in NYC today. Now I know what y'all been dealing with. It is 37 degrees here. Wind 17 miles per hour. High of 41, low of 36 today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we have snow on the forecast. 22 degrees on the low end, 40 degrees on the high end, which means we could probably get hit with some heavy, heavy snow. Hopefully not, but I did go and buy like 3 giant buckets of de-icer for the driveway, the sidewalks. The giant buckets were $13, and like the normal size ones, like the normal de-icer, like the shaker bottle ones, are $9. So I spent $10, so I spent $3 ish more for like a gigantic, like 30-pound bucket. So I'll do it because, you know, I don't want my pregnant daughter falling on the driveway. Lynn says, these sunny skies always make winter more tolerable around here. I hope you get out and get some sunshine today, Lynn. Don't stay huddled up in your hovel like me, probably for the rest of the day until I go to get the girl today. But hey. And Lynn says, well, someone had to take Chandra's place in being late today. I guess it's you. It's all because of her, because I was handling her business. Had I only needed to go to Walmart, I would have been home in time for the 10:05. But no, here we are afternoon. But anyway, I love her enough to take care of her. That's what we do here, right? There we go with a comment. Dustin is practicing his excuses for being late whilst we wait. Booby Goats, Aaron is in the house. Good morning, dear. Hello, I'm doing dishes and washing. I would hate to have to do 10 people's worth of dishes. I don't want to do our number of people's worth. There's this ridiculous stack of dishes downstairs, and I hate it. I'm not here for it. I have too much to do everybody's dishes, but I always got to do everything, right? That's my thing. Brian says, Dustin, you know what they say about excuses. You know, ex-cusses? I don't know. I don't care, really. I'm just like, I'm over today already, boys and girls. Jeremiah, my good friend, is here. Howdy, Jeremiah. So glad to see you, my friend. And Sherry Lynn says, glad to have something to listen to as I make dozens of the pizzelles, pizzarellis, Arthur Fonzarelli, whatever. I like it. I think those would be so good. I don't know. I mean, if some were to happen to end up in our P.O. box, I would totally eat some and let you know how I mean, if they were to magically appear in our P.O. box, I would probably try them. But anyway, Brian's Biscuit says, I just made the most killer plate of home fries for my daughter. I tasted them and had to lay down curled up. I had to lay down curled up. I missed them so bad still. Oh, my goodness. The thing is, something like potatoes, just fried potatoes. I don't understand. I mean, I just kind of feel like I think there's way worse things. If you're cutting the potatoes up and you're frying them in lard, I mean, as long as you're not going crazy with the carb count, I mean, there's worse things we could be eating. And I'm not trying to give permission. I'm not trying to do all that stuff. I'm just saying that's the real deal, folks. Real whole food, single ingredient foods is the way to go. But if you are a person who can't moderate, you can't distinguish the difference between like home fries and a pizza or cake, then you have to do what you have to do for you. So I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm just here to kind of try to hopefully make heads or tail out of some of the things that we see along the way and give you my opinion, my perspective. As always, my perspective can change. My opinion can change at a moment's notice because anytime I get new information, more information, then I'm going to take that into consideration, and it could shift how I look at something. But let's take a moment here. And I know he's not watching. He's probably never truly watched a live or watched a video of mine. But that's neither here nor there. But I want to take a minute and wish Dr. Barry a happy birthday. If you wouldn't mind going over to one of his social media platforms, wishing him happy birthday, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Go on to my YouTube. I made a post today on YouTube here, a community post wishing him a happy birthday. You can comment on that. He may see that. I don't know for sure. But on my Facebook stories. I think it was Facebook. It might have been, I don't remember if it was Facebook stories or Instagram stories. Instagram stories I did share because he said for his birthday, he would like to have people donate on his behalf to the American Diabetes Association. Now I do have, let me see if I can, let me put my link for that in the chat here for everybody. If I can find it. Let me find it here. Hold on. Give me a second here. I guess I don't have it still, but bear with me. I'm sure I can find it. Because I think that's something that's very, very important. Let's see if I can put this in here. Let me see what it looks like. Whew. Of course, my phone is being silly and taking its sweet old time doing what I wanted to do. Debbie is correct. It is Diabetes Society, not Association. I misspoke. I mean, it's been years and years and years of saying association, and I mean society, so please forgive me. Ugh, hold on. I got to go and get a shortened link. It's being silly. I do appreciate your patience today, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Whew, just another red shirt's in the house. Red shirt, my man. I haven't seen you in so long. I do miss hanging out with you and Nick and everybody over at over on our good friend Nick's Toxic Tuesday. I miss that so very much. I need to make plans to come out with everything going on. I don't know when that'll be. I don't know why they make these URLs so very long. But if you would click and donate $1, $2, $3, I donated today. In case you were wondering, there's the tiny URL for the Diabetes Association. I appreciate you so very much. Whew. Terry says I squirreled through my excuses pretty professionally. That's what I do. I'm here to make light of my situation, and, you know, that's what we're here to do, right? Terry's saying, I often wonder why I haven't got an ear infection since I wear earbuds practically 24/7. I wonder about that, too. I know earbuds really do kind of make my ears all sweaty on the inside. You know what I mean? And Sherry says, I'll take the down for the count, hands down. And Bride's Biscuit says, I thought the newborns were supposed to get the ear infections, not the born a minute ago, right? Oh, my goodness. And Terry Girl says, make chicken soup. I'll make some chicken soup today. Maybe I just might. Maybe I might. And Red Shirt says next Tuesday is going to be epic. Please do tell, what is it going to be, Red Shirt? Or can you send me a direct message on Twitter if you wouldn't mind? If you can't say it publicly, let me know. But I mean, it seems like that by the time tonight you guys will be doing something tonight. Whoo! Yeah, Sherry said I'd rather have the down for the count illness. Yes. Cassandra is here. I don't got no. I was like, that's Cassandra. I ain't got no crystal ball. Anyway, I am dumb. Don't bother with me. There we go. There's our good friend Red Shirt. There we go. Mr. Red Shirt. Howdy, folks. Lewis is in the house. Good morning, Lewis. And there we go. Rick is back.
Let's get dangerous.
Yes. Sonny's in the house. There we go, Sonny. So glad to see you. And Cass is asking, what was that? What was what? You ever heard of the band Sublime? They have a song called Santeria. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I spent it all. Well, that's why he's just another red shirt, Carrie. That's why he is just another red shirt, because red shirts don't last long. That's right. That's why we love red shirt. Oh. Who doesn't love Sublime? The sad fact about that album, the biggest album that they ever released, the singer didn't live long enough to see it released. But there is a cool YouTube video out there with the singer from Sublime singing with Gwen Stefani from No Doubt, when she was still with No Doubt, by the way. But I know No Doubt's doing a residency in Las Vegas. I'd be curious to see how that goes down. But the band from No Doubt got together with Davey Havok, the singer from AFI, and they had a 80s kind of pop rock type super group thing they put out. It was called Dream Car. So if you guys are ever interested in checking out the band Dream Car, if you ever liked AFI, which is a fire inside, depending on when you liked AFI, if you liked them in the early 2000s versus the late 2000s, then there's a difference between a fire inside and AFI. They were, the same band, but obviously different outlooks. And then with No Doubt being huge, a quintessential 90s rock band, ska band from the 90s. And then basically when Gwen Stefani went solo, that band just kind of got the shitty end of the stick. So, anyway, what's everybody up to today? Brian's Biscuit says, I smoked 2 joints before I smoked 2 joints, and I smoked 2 more. I could not live like that. I just could not. I couldn't live that life. I am not built for that life. Are you built for that life? Let me know. I am not built for that life. I'd just be glued to the couch. Oh, my goodness. Cass is scrubbing the bathroom sink. Look at that. Doing the things. Making the world go round. Oh, we're only like 24 minutes into this stream, and I'm caught up with the chat. You guys aren't chatty enough today. I need you guys to step up your game and chat more, because I'm already caught up after 24 minutes. Sunday, it took me 2 hours and 45 minutes to get caught up. So you guys are not pulling your weight around here, boys and girls. I know that there's a few people who aren't here. Andy's not here. They're on the cruise. Sean's not here. They're on the cruise. We know that the 2KK cruise is happening right now, and there's all those people that are on there. Cass only has one free hand. Well, use your feet. You can figure it out. I've seen people play guitar with their feet. You should be able to text and scrub. Text and scrub. Scrub and text. Carrie wants the world to go square. I think the world is a little square right now. It could be a little bit more cooler, you know? My buddy Aaron is in the house. What's up, Dustin? I'm over here. I'm over winter already. Over winter already, hasn't even started yet. Yes, winter doesn't even officially begin until the 21st, and here we are on the 9th. But it's a little respite here right now. It's a little warm. And Cass is asking, what is the cruise? It's the 2KK birthday cruise. It's 2 back-to-back cruises. I think one was like a 4-night cruise. And I don't know how long this one is, a 6 or 7-night cruise. I'm not sure, maybe a 5-night. But they're doing back-to-back cruise for 2KK, which is 2 Crazy Ketos. Joe and Rachel. Joe's 55th birthday was the other day. So take a moment, make sure you go back and wish him a happy birthday because we do love them so very much. Look at that. Lynn is subbed to Cass's channel. We love that. Look at that. Lynn just subbed to your channel, Cass. And Sonny says, I'm headed back out to work, Dustin, and listening to you in the background. I love it. I love it. And Carrie says, here where I am in the Gulf Coast of America, it has been cool and hot and cool and hot and boots and pants and boots and pants, boots and pants and boots and pants. Bride's Business says, yeah, I don't smoke either, Dustin. I can't even handle sugar. I feel you. There we go. Brian. Woo. Brian Doyle's in the house. Welcome, Brian Doyle. Welcome, long time listener, first time caller. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Did anybody see the newest Paul Saladino video that he released? Because I watched a little bit of it the other day and I'm curious to see if you have watched it, what you think about going out of the country. Because what he was getting done was something that doesn't happen in the United States. You can't get this service in the United States. Okay? So Paul said, let me go to his channel so I can tell you what it was. Because I need to go in and look at the video and see what's going on. It looks like Bride's Biscuit has released a video like 3 hours ago. There were no views. So after this, please go over there and watch that. The Avalanches Since I Left You. Check that out. I don't know what it is, but go and check it out. Make sure you watch that. Yeah, the blood cleaning. Yeah, getting like a dialysis type thing. So Paul Saladino did that video the other day. It's like, I removed. Let me see here. Let me see. He said, I removed 48 years of toxins from my blood. That seems a little far-fetched, right? He says, in this video, I'm taking you with me for a very interesting experiment. I'll explain the science behind it, how it works, and the potential benefits. I had 2 inuspheriasis sessions, however you want to pronounce that. It's INUSPHERESIS sessions, about 2.5 hours each over the course of 3 days. A day off in between while I was in Majorca. So he went all the way to Majorca to have this done. Now, I don't even know how much this cost. So I found my treatment through whatever it is, .com, no affiliation. It's not offered in the U.S. at the moment. But Proxima.health is looking into making it accessible in the future. As you know, I'm always trying to find ways to boost longevity, improve performance, and support metabolic health. While these therapies may offer some benefits, nothing will replace optimal sleep, diet, and lifestyle. Yes, these are the things we should start with. Optimal sleep, diet, lifestyle. You know, these are the foundations of longevity and optimal health. If you aren't prioritizing these 3 pillars, no supplement, therapy, or anything can truly solve your problems. So with this, I fully agree with Dr. Paul Saladino. I strongly believe diet is the biggest lever you can pull to heal and improve your health. I agree. Diet, longevity, lifestyle, make sure you're getting enough sleep, because you can get your diet dialed in to the gram every day. But if you are not getting enough sleep, if you are stressed out all the time, and you are not getting sunlight, and you are not having, engagement with some kind of community, it doesn't have to be this community, but some kind of community, whether that's your own family, belonging to some kind of organization, whether that's a church or some kind of like Elks Lodge or something. You got to have some kind of community, whether that's some old army buddies or whatever the case may be. We all need people that we can lean on when we are not strong. Sometimes I like to just throw random things in there to see if you guys pick up on it, and I just can't help but laugh sometimes when I do it because it's so obvious. But anyway, yeah, so it's just one of those things like, but I kind of wonder, like, with somebody with the reach of Paul Saladino, what is his, he's got 1 million subscribers. So Paul has 1 million subscribers here on the YouTubes. This video was released on December the 5th and has 250,000 views. So this has impacted 250,000 people. Now, I don't know how much a service like that costs. Let's see what this service would cost. So there's different types. But it looks like they kind of go between anywhere from $400 to $1,200, while total, like, let's see, some studies show the cost between $400 and $1,200, while total treatments can be $180,000 plus for full course. I doubt that that's what he had done, but if you figure, say it was $1,000, he spent $2,000 getting that done while being out of country in Majorca, but he made a video out of it so he could write it off on his taxes. And I am not, believe me, I am not shaming that, because that's what you have to do if you own a company and you were trying to make content. You have to do what you can to write this stuff off if you're making content. Whether it's buying a new camera, doing whatever, you got to do whatever you got to do to write this stuff off on your taxes. Because if you are a person who owns your own business, you pay all the taxes. It's all you. And that's something that I'm going to be going into with the health coaching type stuff. So I'm just trying to learn and feel my way out. But anyway, yeah, that's where we are with that. So it's, it's an interesting thing. So I don't know, maybe I might go in and do a reaction video of this. I don't know. I've never done a reaction video before. I'm sure it can't be that overly difficult, but I mean, one doesn't know until one tries, right? But I'm curious to see about how this works and what happens. And, this would be something cool to see, Dr. Barry look at, because I think realistically, I mean, there's probably going to be services that pop up like this when we're dealing with things in our blood, like forever chemicals. If there's things that circulate in our blood that our kidneys can't filter out, because I'm not saying that this is something everybody should do, but I'm still thinking, I think this is just maybe another tool in the toolbox, but I don't know. It's like, have you ever seen the videos of the people who go and they go to like the fingernail places and the feet places, and they say, hey, we've got this thing, and we put your feet in it, pull all these toxins out of your feet. And then like it's bubbling up and turning black and it's disgusting. But realistically, all it's doing is it's just the water and some chemicals in the water reacting to the metal that your feet are on, but not actually pulling anything out of your feet. Because you would figure if you're pulling that kind of toxins out of your body, you probably shouldn't be with us anymore. But anyway, yeah. So Bry's Biscuit says something funny here that I understand. You guys may not. So every time you mention 2KK, I get TKK in my head, Dustin. Me too. I saw them in 98, and then I saw them again, and like, I don't know. I've seen them twice. I saw them in Cincinnati at Bogart's, and then I saw them in Chicago at the Metro. But yeah, my favorite album, and yours may be different, but my favorite album by TKK is Confessions of a Knife. Devil Bunny. Anyway, it's weird, like electronic, like dance music. I mean, they were on the Crow soundtrack, TKK. My Life, where the Thrill Kill Cult was on the Crow soundtrack. One of the best soundtracks of all time, because there were some cool tracks on there that weren't anywhere else, like Rollins Band. I love Henry Rollins, and Rollins Band had Ghost Rider on there. That was a great song. Rage Against the Machine had a song on there. The Cure song on there, Burn, is one of the best songs ever recorded by The Cure, in my humble opinion. But anyway, yeah. See, Cass says this is a gimmick. That's my jump to conclusion idea. But I want to know, like, I wonder, but I couldn't help but watch, and he's talking about, all the microplastics that we're taking out of the blood as we're running all the blood and everything through plastic tubing. Like plastic tubing, Captain Stubing. Anyway, yeah. Sherry says, I quit that stuff long ago, made me paranoid and gave me the munchies. I love the munchies. I can't help, hey, we're the munchies, gonna eat everything in town. Anyway, yeah. Bry's Biscuit said he was surfing while holding a crate of papaya. And good on him. Good on him for doing what he does. He has a successful channel. I think he is, when it comes to his short form content, drives me crazy. Because he's telling you what not to buy at Costco, and then want you to spend 4 or 5 times the amount of money at Costco that I think you ought to. Because I don't think there's a big enough difference for people who are lower income, who are not living very, very all that stuff, right? That aren't living paycheck to paycheck. And I know most of us probably are living somewhat close to paycheck to paycheck. If we do have savings, it's minimal, and 401k and stuff like that, but you can't touch that. That's not going to be enough to handle your full life expectancy and all that stuff. But anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about. I'm having a day. But yeah, I just think like doing what he needs to do. He eats well. I just think he's telling people like kind of like he uses scare tactics a little too much. I think that drums up views. That's probably why he has 1 million subscribers and I have 6,000. You know what I mean? He does probably put more work into his content than I do, but I'm sure he has editors and I do everything myself. But anyway, And Cass says, oh my goodness, he has too much time. Yeah, I mean, he does his job, right? And Bry's Business says, oh Lord, thank you, Dustin. Since I Left You is a tender story about a man ready for the next journey while a friend has to wait. It's absolutely beautiful. Sounds something that I don't need to listen to today, because I am not I'm always like, I can't watch the sad stuff unless I need ooh. Red Shirt says, get an accountant. I probably will need an accountant once I make enough money to warrant an accountant. I don't want to get an accountant. They take more money than I make. Oh. And Cass said you would do great at doing review videos. I'd have to look some stuff up and kind of like just give my first impressions, because I don't know enough about the science behind what he's doing to know and be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's a scam. Carrie's out of the way. Well, Carrie, you have a good day at work, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your day. Be safe, my friend, and don't work too hard. Brian's Business says, hot takes are easy in social spaces, Dustin. Go for it. It will be an interesting experiment to hear yours. Yeah. I'm curious to see. That's Lie doing exfoliation. 13 Above the Night, Confessions, second fave. I don't even know if I've ever heard 13 Above the Night. I had to go back and I just don't know. We spent a lot of time listening to Confessions of a Knife. A lot of time listening to that record. Because back then, we didn't have a lot of extra money to buy all the records. So we would have like one album from this group, one album from this group, and we didn't have them all. Like now you can go back and listen and go and look at YouTube and see a song they played live once and watch it on YouTube. Yeah, I love it. They were their own thing. Maybe the Cramps, but completely different. Industrial meets go-go meets disco. They were fun. They're a fun band, but they're weird as crap. I'll tell you what. There we go. Carrie's out the door. You be safe, my friend. Oh, and Bride's Biscuit says Blue Buddha blew up on Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, I mean, Beavis and Butthead broke a lot of artists. Beavis and Butthead kind of broke Rollins' band with the Liar song. It really did wonders for Danzig with the Mother song. Man, I would love to go back and watch just the video portions of Beavis and Butthead. That was the funniest stuff. Like, or Beavis is sitting there, he's like, things that make you go, It's like, what do they call it? Taking a dump. When you don't take it anywhere, you leave it. They should call it leave it a dump. And I was like, I'm in middle school, like, oh my goodness. Yep. Welcome to my stream, folks. Hanging with Jen is here. I'm glad to see you. Glad to see you. And 22 Cute Cat said, Lynn said, yeah, those were the days, scraping all your money together just to buy a new album, but we loved it. I would buy albums, man. That and then like if you're really into a band, if you were really, really into a group or whatever, then you would go and buy like the imports and the maxi singles and like the Japanese only releases. Because there's a Clutch album out there, the Japanese version of Elephant Riders. Because Elephant Riders had three like one of those hidden tracks. So you didn't know which one you were going to get when you bought the album, but there were 3 hidden tracks. And the Japanese release had all 3 of them. And I don't even know like what the names of those songs are. Let me see if I can find that here. Okay, so we had David Rose was one of the names of the 3 tracks, Gifted and Talented, and then 05. So I wondered if you can even find that. I wonder if that can even be found, if that can even be something that's found on Spotify. Let us see. If I can spell things right. Gifted and talented. Yeah, I don't think you can find it that way. Probably have to go on YouTube and find it. But there were 3 hidden tracks. Anyway, you guys probably don't even care. We want to know about it. That's all right. Cass is asking, Bride's Biscuit, go for it. You meant Dustin? Let's see. Bride's also said, yes, I used to buy so many imports. Often they released first and ahead of domestic, even for local bands. Yeah. I would buy, I was a huge Marilyn Manson fan back in the day. I mean, it was 1996 and 95, 96. I was a huge fan. It was ridiculous. I was 15, 16. I was rife for that, that kind of thing. I was huge into White Zombie. I love Los Exteristo. That was an amazing album. And then Astro Creep came out, or what was the Astro Creep 2000 it came out. And I was so sad they only really released those two major records, and then they just basically broke up, mainly because we know Rob Zombie's a douche canoe. But then he went on and did a solo career, which was awful, and I won't hear otherwise. I'm sure a lot of people love it, but I just couldn't handle it. But and then I loved his brother's work. I loved Power Man 5000 when they released their first real record. Their first real record was the best, in my opinion. Mega Kung Fu Radio. That was such a good record. And then they just changed and they came out with Tonight the Stars Revolt. And I'm like, come on, this is not as good. It was just generic. It was basically just sci-fi version of what Rob was doing. And I was just not a fan of it. Rick says, I got my music marked down at Kmart or from yard sales or the dump. Yeah. There's so many that the problem is there's so many local bands that I missed that if you didn't get the CD, then they just don't exist anymore. And some of them you get lucky and they'll people who are affiliated with the band or whatever will create a Spotify account and upload it, or they'll put it on YouTube. There's a band here. There was a band here from Indianapolis, and at least two of the members are gone. They were called About the Fire. And they had two records, and they were phenomenal live. I love seeing them live. Saw them all kinds of times live. I mean, I was friends with them, and they were so good live. But I mean, the only way to listen to them now is to go and hear somebody had uploaded the records on YouTube, which, I mean, thankfully we have that, right? Yeah, when Worlds Collide blew up, and I was just like, this is what it's like when worlds collide. You know what I mean? But there was so much more with Mega Kung Fu Radio. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, Bride's Biscuit says that I bought my first record from Woolworths. It was the Royal Guardsmen singing Snoopy and the Red Baron. Hang on, Snoopy. Snoopy, hang on. My first record, so there's two separate pieces here. The first record that I remember buying or picking out, but I didn't get it with my own money, was LL Cool J's Bigger and Deffer. It's a phenomenal rap record. Early rap, 1987, I think is when that came out. And then a couple of years later, the first album I think I bought with my actual own money was Vanilla Ice, To the Extreme. I'm honest about it. That's how you know I'm telling you the truth about just about everything, because I owned up to buying Vanilla Ice's To the Extreme on cassette. Yeah. See, Brian's Biscuit lived the life. I saw LL in the back in the day with Run DMC and Beasties. Man, it's so weird because when you it's kind of like when you hear the Beasties, you love the Beasties, but it's weird. It's crazy that they got you wouldn't think they would have gotten the respect that they actually got. I went back and I did listen to their biography or whatever. I bought that and listened to that. Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy that because you kind of if you think about hip hop, and then there was always this this idea, and Beastie Boys went above and beyond and broke through that idea and gained the respect of basically all of hip hop forefathers, from what I understand. You know, like when they come out, you'd see people just excited to see them. And yeah, I would love to have seen Beasties back in the day. Beasties, I think there was a time where Beastie Boys played here in Indy, and I think Rage Against the Machine opened up for them, and I didn't even know anything about that. And had I known that, I would have sold my. I mean, it's like people always ask, what would you do if you had access to a time machine and you could go back and look at events in the past? I would go to concerts. I would go to so many concerts. Like, that would be something that I would love to do. I'd like to go back to, you know, like, just go back and see all the stuff that I never got to see. Cass got her bathroom sink unclogged. We love that. So proud of you. I'm not trying to be facetious, but it seems like no matter what I do, our sinks are always clogged. Was too much hair. And Bry's Biscuit says, I saw Beasties at the A7 as a punk band. I grew up in NYC in the 70s, so punk, hip hop were part of that there. That's amazing to me. Like, I can't say, because I was very fortunate to be in a very fun and thriving local scene here in Indianapolis. Nothing like New York, nothing like Los Angeles, nothing like if you were somebody who hung out at, you know, the Troubadour, you hung out at the Whiskey in Los Angeles and the Troubadour and all those places, and hung out at the Rainbow and all those things, and you just were in the thick of it, whether it was, you know, like in the late 60s, early 70s with the Doors and all of that, you know, coming through the Whiskey, into the 80s when you're dealing with Guns N' Roses and Poison and Motley Crue, and you had all of that. Like, that would have been so phenomenal to experience. I got to spend one night at the Whiskey. We were there, and I only got to see one band perform like half a set, because we had gone, we had picked up a friend, and because we were in town, and we picked up a friend, and we went to Barney's Beanery to have dinner. And that was kind of cool, because I went to go to the restroom and walked through the pool hall, because like there's a pool room to go to the bathroom. And I walked by, and playing pool was David Faustino from Married with Children, Bud Bundy. So he was just hanging out back. I didn't bother him. I didn't say anything to him, because it was like a Wednesday night, you know. And I was like, you know what, he's a person. And I was like, it was cool enough to me just to walk by, nod at him, and be like, you know, that sup nod. You know what I mean? Here I am in like my mid to late 20s. Here he is, probably in his 30s. Mid 30s or whatever, playing pool. He didn't want to be bothered by me. I didn't bother him. And I went to the bathroom, came out. I was like, oh my God, it's Bud Bundy. You know what I mean? And then we went, we got done with dinner. We went over to the Whiskey, and because my friend had been touring with Scarlet, this band on Ferret Records called Scarlet. And I had posted about them the other day. They have an amazing album called It Was Always Meant to Fall Apart. And they were on Ferret, and they went on tour. They toured with Madball, and they toured with a bunch of other bands. And my buddy had filled in on bass for that tour. And so when he got back from tour, we went on a vacation. We all went to Vegas. It was like two of my friends and I. We went to Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Riverside, and we went to San Francisco. I was like for my 27th birthday. And that was part of that trip. And we went to the Whiskey, and the lady just let us in. But the bill that night was Cattle Decapitation, and From a Second Story Window, and some other band. I can't remember. But Cattle Decapitation played before we got there, and we got in just in time to see about a song and a half From a Second Story Window. And it was like weird, because you go into a place like the Whiskey and you anticipate it being something massive, huge, larger than life. And it's tiny, it's dingy, it's like a club you have at home. And you're like, how did so much history happen in a tiny little hovel like the Whiskey? And I don't mean it any disrespect, but at the same time, you know, it was very reminiscent to a place that we have here. I don't even know if it's open anymore. Probably not even open anymore. Called Birdie's. You know, a corner stage, and you know what I mean, like a little upstairs place, and basically the exact same size place. But obviously, none of the history. I mean, the Birdie's probably had some history, but nothing like the whiskey. And you know, I'm just like, that's crazy to me. Like being in a place like that is like, because we went to Hollywood, obviously, and I only caught a glimpse of the Hollywood sign one time while we were there, which is odd. I figured we would have driven through and seen it better, but we just saw a glimpse through the buildings. We were just young and dumb and doing stuff, and like I know we went to the Chinese theater and whatever it's called now, whatever it's called then. But like even that was tiny. Like you think it's gonna be this big grandiose thing you see on TV, and like you get there and you're like, oh, it's like even like Hollywood is dirty and dingy, and you're like, man. And then you watch, and then like, you know, you think back about like movies that showcase Hollywood, like Pretty Woman. You're like, I get it. It is like that. That was Pretty Woman was a very, very realistic interpretation or exposition of what Hollywood is like. It's dirty, dingy, not quite what you expect it to be. Then you get into like Rodeo Drive, and you're like, oh, okay, and like you're driving through the Hollywood Hills and all that stuff, and just crazy. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my butt now, but you know. Sherry says, I saw David Faustino many times as he went to middle school with my daughter. Really? That's awesome. Were they friends? Did you guys know him? Just curious. And Bryce Biscuit says, I think he was an amateur rapper too. I don't know. I know that he had like, that was a persona in the show, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know that was a thing in real life. And Married with Children was something else when it came out. Yeah, I mean, like when this was 2006. So Married with Children hadn't been on TV in a while, but yeah. It's just one of those things like, yeah. Not a lot of people watching right now. Only 9 of you on YouTube. 9 on YouTube, 5 on X, 0 on Rumble. Yeah. Yeah. Rebecca's here from South Africa. Welcome, Rebecca. Glad to see you. Hello. Bride's Biscuit says, Band of Gypsies in 1969 New Year's Eve at the Fillmore East would be my time machine show. That and Bad Brains, 1982 Christmas show at CBGB's. That's crazy. Yeah, Red Shirt, you are old, but you have lasted longest amongst all the red shirts, okay? So you're not just another red shirt. You are the oldest living red shirt. So now you got to change your name to oldest living red shirt. Not just another, oldest living red shirt. OL red shirt. Oldest living red shirt. Make it so, Captain. Sherry says, I was born and raised in California and never seen that Hollywood sign up close, only at a distance driving. And yes, Dustin is correct. Hollywood is dirty and nasty and even worse now. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Sherry Lynn is still watching. Well, I appreciate you, Sherry. I've just been kind of pontificating and going off on things that really have no like relevance to the channel. And I kind of figure when I do that, people just kind of zone out and leave. So I don't know. I would like to go back to California. I'd love to go see shows at the Whiskey. I don't even know. Let me see. I need to go back and see some of the stuff even there. Like, I don't know. Is Birdie still a venue? No. No, I don't think it's still open. No. That's a golf place now. The original Birdies concert venue in Indianapolis on 2131 East 71st Street is permanently closed. It did not reopen after the pandemic lockdown. The building that housed the original Birdies venue is now occupied by Keystone Sports Review. Ugh, gross. I remember going and seeing various shows there, like Midwest Music Summit and being involved in that and doing all kinds of stuff. And like, there was this band that had come in from Tel Aviv. This is like 2004, 2005. Some up and coming band was playing there that was supposed to be like the next Beatles or whatever. And everybody that was there, like I remember hanging out because I was working for a little record label, an offshoot label of Universal. We were all there together, and everyone was talking about this band from Tel Aviv. I couldn't remember their name of the band right now, but they were supposed to be like the new Beatles. And I know like we were hanging out with the owner. I think it was the owner of like Jägermeister or something like that. Like that, yeah, it was crazy, and just all the weird stuff that happens with that kind of stuff. It's a weird life. It's a weird experience to be involved in that kind of thing. Like I was never up into that, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Again, Red Shirt says I'm old and I listen to old music, but you're still a good dude and we love you, Red Shirt. Oldest living Red Shirt. Old Red Shirt. Cass is still here. Lynn says, where did everyone go? I'm here. Andy says he's driving to Bloomington. Well, I hope you're safe. Are you on 69 South? 69. See, that's the funny thing about the whole things with kids in 6'7". Like, they totally don't understand the 69 aspect. Like, they're like 6'7". Bry's Business says, I like Bebop, Glenn Miller, Maurice Chevalier, whatever, and Mozart. I love all kinds of stuff. I love good, hard. I just love good music. If it's well written, well composed, well put together, and it fits, I love it. Like I was, there's like an acquaintance buddy of mine. He runs booking at the Bottom Lounge in Chicago. And he's in a band that I love. Well, he was in a band that I loved back in the day, back in the mid 2000s. They were called Inept, and I love that band. They were so good. And he's in a new band now called Night Spice. Night Spice. They have a cool song called Plums. They just released another song the other night that's pretty good too. They were like electronic 80s inspired kind of. They get a little heavy some, but I think they're really great. But he runs the booking at there, and Cradle of Filth and Suffocation and a band called Ghost Bath are playing at his venue, and I'm like, Ghost Bath is one of those bands. They have this song called Moon Lover, or let me see what it's called because I can't remember what. Let me see. Moon Lover from 2016. It's an album called Moon Lover, band called Ghost Bath. There's to me nothing more haunting than that album. I put it on a couple of times and I haven't been able to listen very far into it. It's just one of those, it's like an emotional nightmare hellscape of an album. And I love some brutal music, but this is just one of those like, whew, yeah. Cass is scrubbing away hard on the countertop stains. And Bry's Biscuit says, I'm closing the bar today. Okay, I'll let Dustin cook now. Andy Carnivore says 6'7", 6'9", 69. 6'7". And I love how people always try to put some kind of something to what kids say. It's like my 7-year-old is saying 6'7". It's nothing deeper to her than 6'7". She doesn't have any clue. It's something fun for her and her friends to say that's like their thing to say. And when you see parents and people trying to capitalize on the popularity of a saying that a kids are saying, and they're trying to put like like demonic or satanic stuff associated with it. Like, really? Get out of here. No. Like, if you know if I know my kid and I know my granddaughter, she's just, to her, like, what does it mean? I don't know. 6, 7. She doesn't give she doesn't care. It's just something that her and her friends can say and they can giggle about. It's like farts. Kids love farts because they giggle about it. So I don't know. I know that I've seen a lot of people putting things on things that don't belong there. Like, even it was hilarious because South Park did an episode this season where Cartman was like, every time somebody said 6, 7, he would laugh so hard he would throw up. He just couldn't help it. And he was like, it's insane. It was hilarious. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and Aaron's right. So Hardee's was advertising. I don't see any advertisement. So, but Hardee's was advertising a 6, 7 sandwich recently. I mean, it get to the point where, like, when I'm putting stuff together for the granddaughter for breakfast or lunch, I'm like, you get 6 here and 7 here. You know, and I'm like, she's like, 6, 7. You know, it's just like, I give her six like chicken nuggets on her plate, 7 in her lunch or whatever, right? And that's just what it is. And Brian's Business says, you should put up a playlist or suggestion on your channel. I bet you could turn me into a lot of stuff I missed. I'll do that. So I was listening to Harry Potter books because I've been kind of like, when I'm in the car, I had usually listened to a lot of podcasts, whether they are Proper Human Diet related or other stuff, whether they're like Joe Rogan or whatever, just whatever interests me. But for the last couple of months, I've just been burnt out on everything. So I've been listening. I've got, all these books on Audible. I've been listening to books. So the first 3 Harry Potter books I've listened to a bunch. So I put on, and I've paid for them multiple times over. So I'm like, well, I'm going to get my use out of them. And I like the stories. They're emotional. They're well written, in my opinion. But anyway, I started with, I went with Goblet of Fire. Recently finished up Order of the Phoenix, and now I'm listening to Half-Blood Prince. And I forget where I was going with that, but yeah, like I maybe I will go and put together, a bunch of music or whatever, but I haven't been doing anything, listening to a bunch of music. But there's so much cool stuff. Oh, I remember what the link between Harry Potter and in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, they talk about these things that Voldemort and the Death Eaters are using called Infuries. Inferi, there's a band called Inferi that I want to see live. They're like this ultra tech death metal band I don't know if they've played here yet, but I think they maybe have, and I haven't got a chance to go see them. But I want to see Inferi play. Maritza is here. Good morning, my friend. I'm so glad to see you. So glad to see you. And Bridesmaid, she said, mid-2000s on, I'm ignorant. Yeah, I need to put together just a list and just go ham and just put I need to put together a list of music that makes me. Like music that is me, and just put everything together. And you can just say, okay, you get to the end of this, you'll kind of have an idea of who I am, I guess. If you dare. Whether it's things that I listen to because I think it's awesome, ironic, hilarious. I mean, I've seen, the band Green Jelly. They were at once upon a time called Green Jello. And if you've ever heard the Three Little Pigs song, like little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Which is funny, the guy, like the high-pitched voice that says not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. That's Maynard James Keenan from Tool. He was in LA at the time and lived and was involved in that whole scene, and basically did that little vocal piece for that band. And that was like right before Tool became a thing. And but yeah, I saw them play in a mechanic's garage here in Indy some years ago, and they were touring in a school bus. So I mean, that just kind of goes to show like the weird stuff that I've seen. Yeah, Bride's Biscuit said, "Oh snap! Didn't know it was Maynard. I didn't know for a long time. Yeah. Little pig, let me in. But just stuff like that, like guar. I've seen guar. They're a lot of fun. But I mean, there's a lot of things up there that people would take at face value and go, oh my goodness, and they get their panties in a bunch. And I'm like, just you gotta look a little deeper. It's fun. It's nothing serious. Because I think, for me, like the music that I love and enjoy has been one of the biggest saviors of me in my adolescence. Like how this community saved me recently, So, there's that. Yeah, rest in peace, Brocky. That was heavy rotation on MTV. Yeah, for sure. And I'm being asked where my Bucky's cup is. My Bucky's cup is downstairs. I just was in a hurry this morning or this afternoon when I got home because I had initially set this up for 10, but I had to go in and change it and then push it back, and then I was running late even still. So, yeah, I just grabbed the first cup I could. Yeah, I love punk rock. I would love to go see like some of the stuff. Like if I had a time machine, I'd go back and see, Green Day playing on like the Dookie, like one of those little smaller Dookie shows. When when Dookie came out and they're doing these little club shows, I'd love to go see some see Green Day perform just the stuff off of Dookie and maybe Kerplunk or 2,000 Light Years Away or whatever. But like, I'd love to go back and see like early Henry Rollins fronted Black Flag and see all that kind of stuff, or see like early Nine Inch Nails, early Marilyn Manson, early Tool. Like go to the show where, like, if you listen to Opiate, the album Opiate, there's like 2 live tracks and you can hear it. Now you can kind of go and you can kind of see, like, I think there's some footage from those shows, and like I would love to go back and see like that early Lollapalooza dates, like when Rage Against the Machine first came out, when Tool first came out, all these things. I would love to do that and all that stuff, and just love to go back and see like Rancid with Let's Go when it came out, and or like see like Op Ivy before Rancid, or see that kind of stuff, or go back and like I'd love to see stuff like the Horror Pops again. I'd love to see early AFI again. I'd like to go back and see all that stuff that you'll never see. Like I said, early Nine Inch Nails, or like when the Nothing record label on Interscope was huge, and then have these big Nothing nights and stuff with like Pop Lead Itself and Meat Beat Manifesto and all these things. Like I just love all that stuff, all these different things that just truly would be amazing to see and experience. Go to Europe and see all these like crazy bands, like now that the lead singer from At the Gates is gone, I'll never get to see At the Gates. I'll never get to see that. That bums me out. I always wanted to see At the Gates. But yeah. Anyway, Violent Femmes. I saw Violent Femmes recently. Actually, our granddaughter, that was her first show. We took her to see the Violent Femmes. Actually, they opened up for Ben Folds. I wanted to stick around and see Ben Folds, but having the granddaughter with us, we didn't see Ben Folds, so we left. And that's one of those things I'd love to have seen Ben Folds, or go back and see early Ben Folds 5 and stuff like that. Like, go back and see Weezer again. I saw them on one of their first tours in 95. Go back and see Bush play again in a small club. I'd love to, like, small club shows are the biggest to me. Like, I'd love to see Metallica in a small club, like go back and actually be in the room when they're playing the Metro, or playing here at like the Arlington or wherever they played here, or, just these, like, so many amazing shows that happened before I was able. Like, I have a lot of friends that post all these shows that were like, they're like, oh, this show happened on this date in 1986. And I was like, that's cool. I was a first grader. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't going to some club to see Armored Saint. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to be able to go back and see all that stuff. Bryce says, I saw Nine Inch Nails on there. Now I'm Nothing tour. See, that's what I want to see. Like when Marilyn Manson was opening for them, and for like the Pretty Hate Machine stuff. Like, I posted on my Facebook yesterday, I saw that QVC is selling this vinyl tapestry of Pretty Hate Machine by Nine Inch Nails. And I'm thinking, Oh my God. Could you imagine like being in 1996, 1995, 1991 and seeing QVC selling something by 9 Inch Nails? Oh yeah, like you just can't afford like going into shows back then. Like shows were $6, $7. And I mean, yeah, that was kind of a big deal when I was making $5 an hour. But even now, like even if I had a job right now, I'd be making $25 an hour, $30 an hour. Shows are $300. Back when I was making $5 an hour, a $6 show was way more manageable working 20 hours a week than working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, making $30 an hour. Who can afford to go to a $300 show? I want to take our granddaughter to see Taylor Swift, but who can afford $3,000 for a ticket to take a little girl to go see Taylor Swift and not be so high up she can actually see what's going on? That's just crazy. Yeah, Ben Folds is ridiculously talented. I would like to go back and see like Dave Matthews Band before they were all like the super like, are you going to go see Dave? I'm going to go see Dave. I love Dave. Come on. That's my mentality and that's just what it is. I don't know. See, Bridesmaid, that's the Armored Saint with Wasp, Metallica on their Ride the Lightning tour. Yeah, I've seen Metallica twice, but I saw Metallica in 98 with Days of the New and Jerry Cantrell. So I never got to see Alice in Chains. I never got to see Rage Against the Machine. And I would like to see Rage Against the Machine, but still have respect for them when I do it. I don't know. It's just, yeah. And Brian's Biscuit says, yeah, CB's was $5 for hardcore matinee, 4 bands. That's what I miss. Like I remember all like the local shows were all 4 bands. You get there like 7 o'clock, 7:30. Bands start at 8. You know, first band gets 20 minutes and then 30 minutes and then 45 minutes and an hour or whatever. I miss that, having these, all that stuff. Like there was a band called Dent that we went and saw all the time. There's a band called Perfect Nothing that we would see play all the time. And I mean, then there was like, there were some of the other major indie bands that really kind of got out. Like, so like 99, 98, 99, not About the Fire. What's, Burn It Down. Did you ever hear of Burn It Down, Bride's Biscuit? There's a band called Burn It Down. They're a phenomenal band. I love them so much. Yeah, so I mean, Burn It Down, they had some amazing records, right? Like, because they had like the vocalist was Ryan Downey. Like they had like the album, Let the Dead Bury the Dead. It was on Escape Artist Records, and that they were active since 1997. They're from here. Ryan Downey, Bob Fouts, rest in peace. Jason McCash, rest in peace. John Zepps, who's a living legend here in Indianapolis. If you live here and you know anything about music, you know who John Zepps is. But yeah, it's just, man, I miss those days. I miss all of that. So many amazing bands. Because I want to say that Burn It Down did a split with, let me see. Let me see. So there was a band out of Chicago, American hardcore punk band, metal band, originally from Chicago, Illinois. Let's see. The band attracted controversy in the late 90s before any releases as a result of their radical take on politics, which focused on the idea of, let's see, they were called Race Trader. They did a split EP with Indianapolis band Burn It Down called Make Them Talk in 1999, before an initial breakup. So realistically, the thing is Pete Wentz was one of the original members of Race Trader who went on to be, as you know, Pete Wentz went on to be in the band, where is it? Fall Out Boy. So if you're familiar with Fall Out Boy, Pete Wentz was in Fall Out Boy. He's also in a band called Race Trader. They did a split with Burn It Down. So yeah. Nostalgia moment. It's all nostalgia for me. Music is music and I love it. But anyway, I think I bored there's 17 of you watching now. That's crazy. I don't know. If you guys like this type of stuff, we can do more of it. I have a whole other channel. I have a whole other channel that I can start and talk about this stuff all day, do little lives and whatever. But I don't know if you guys would be interested in that or whatever. If you want to follow that, it's I'll put a link up here if I can find the channel again. Hold on. I've got 24 subscribers. It was going to be a podcast channel, but I don't know if I'm ever going to do that or not. But Andy Carnivore said, Deuce on X103 was my brother. Rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear that. I miss X103. I miss Rock 107. I miss all of that. I miss Rock 107. I miss X103. I don't even know. Like it's like whatever it's called now. Yeah, I need to go back and put together all the different bands and music that made me who I am today, and I'll put that on my KetoSimple.shop. I'll put a playlist there for anybody that's interested. Cass says I have a good radio voice. I've been told that. Like I could be like a baseball announcer or whatever. I've been told, like when I had a job at the insurance company, I talked on the phone all the time. I have a friend who used to run the door, or she used to run stage. She used to run the stage of the Riviera in Chicago. And she would always tell me, she'd call me the voice. So at least I'm able to put it to use some, you know. At least I'm able to put it to use, at least, and do this and talk to you guys. And then some of you enjoy what I have to say. So anyway, I think we'll talk until we get to about an hour and a half, and then we'll go in and call it a day because I'm a little hungry. I started much, much later than I wanted to. It's already after 1:30. I'm getting text messages from my wife. Let's see. She said, thank you for going all over town for my ear stuff. Yeah, she was very cranky with me today because I wasn't doing it fast enough. Just like, what took me so long? You know? Oh, Aaron, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. He says, I thought you were going to see as a good radio face. I do have a face for radio. I have a face for radio. I mean, I'm not as ugly as I always thought I was. But I'm definitely not as attractive as some other YouTubers and all these famous people. I'm not as attractive as, Dr. Barry and Nisha and, everybody really seems to like Dr. Chafee. People seem to like Dr. Chafee a lot more than they like me. Oh, my goodness. What's to eat? I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to eat. Hopefully something easy. And Rebecca says, I do have a great voice. Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. I appreciate you so very much. And Rick's people says that people like his voice. I keep looking back at your stuff, Rick, and you have way more watches and views than I do. I do have a good face for a podcast. But now all the podcasts are have audio or video components too. Andy says, I'm at my Bloomington destination. Love your show, Dustin. See you at the next meetup, hopefully. As soon as we have one scheduled, you'll be one of the first people to know, my friend. Jeremiah says, make a Spotify playlist. We have it for the kids. On my 2025 wrap-up, I had a whopping 347 minutes last year. Oh, my goodness. I don't know how. That's like 5 hours. I don't know how many hours. 6 hours. I don't know. 300 miles. That's like 5 hours. I don't know. Is Dr. Chafee more attractive than Dr. Baker? I don't know. Who knows? Bride's Biscuit says, I did a few shows here in NYC in the mid 80s. I booked Nuclear Assault for one. Cool Guys, Danny Leichler from Anthrax SOD. Who was the vocalist for SOD, Brides? Who was the vocalist for SOD? Because I think I used to talk to him on AOL, weirdly enough. AOL Instant Messenger. That is true. Brides is only saying, saying that Dr. Baker is shorter than him. Yeah. Billy Milano, that's right. I think I used to talk to Billy Milano on AOL Instant Messenger back in the 90s, early 2000s maybe. Early 2000s, I think I used to talk to him for some weird reason. Everybody go and make sure you're following Ash Taylor, listening to her stuff over on Spotify to get her all the views and listens and everything that she needs. But yeah, I think I used to talk to Billy Milano. Is he still around? SOD went and became something I forget. Oh yeah, SOD, MOD. Because I remember asking him like what he thought of various bands and stuff, and he was real cagey. Rebecca says Dr. Berg. Dr. Berg gives me like villain vibes. Does anybody else feel that? Like, anybody see Dr. Berg and think he could be like a super villain? Like, he's kind of got that, like, come on in, and then he's going to lock in a dungeon. Does anybody else feel that? I don't know. It's hard for me to trust Dr. Berg. I think for me, Rick needs to get that sinus thing fixed. And I'm not trying to be a jerk to say that, but like when you're listening to Rick talk, Rick has a great voice, but like every 10 to 15, 35 seconds really kind of wears on you a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, Lynn says I never really trusted Dr. Berg. It's hard to trust Dr. It's hard for me to trust anybody, really, all the way. And Mr. Rick says, I met Dr. Berg in person. He's taller than I realized. Well, I imagine, so I either feel like people are going to be taller than they are or shorter than they are. So like you're going to have an idea of if somebody's short, and you're like, oh, wow, you're way taller than I thought you would be, or they're going to be way shorter than you think they're going to be. It's weird. Bride says, Drew Stone does documentary films and has all the old hardcore folks on. You should check it out. Hardcore NYHC Chronicles is this show. Oh, yeah, I have to check that out. I mean, I don't have anything against Dr. Berg, but he seems creepy and I don't fully trust him. Do I think he's doing something negative with the community? No. But I also don't he seems like a supervillain. Oh, yeah. Rebecca's like, yeah, we're not talking trust, we're talking good looking. I mean, he just looks like a person, you know what I mean? And Brian's Business says, I like Dr. Berg for a chiropractor. I need a chiropractor. I need somebody to, I'm a big man and I need someone to pop me. I know that I don't think that necessarily chiropractic is fully necessary, but like when I feel like my neck is stiff and things you can feel like bones rubbing, I feel like I just need someone to like pop me. I need like Andre the Giant to pick me up and go and just pull me apart. Yeah, she's asking me like, what do I think rubs me the wrong way? He just feels like a supervillain, and his son doesn't like him. He and his son are estranged, and I can look some of that out too. Like, see, Dr. Berg's son, Ian Rafalco, gained attention for speaking out about his upbringing in the prominent Scientology family. So Dr. Berg is a Scientologist. That's where that probably that creepy like villain vibe comes from. It's like, have you ever noticed that kind of creepy vibe from from Tom Cruise? You know what I mean? Viral TikToks focused on his departure from Scientology and his loss of family, not directly on criticizing his father, Dr. Berg, but rather the cult-like environment he grew up in, including his father's strong involvement with Scientology. So, but I've seen videos of this person saying things about his father, but I mean, not just Scientology, but yeah. And people do call him a guru or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, and Lynn said she did some research on Berg years ago. He had a history. Yeah. Bryce said, I did a chiropractor once. He spun my head like The Exorcist. I need that. Oh, it feels so good. And like, so Chandra for Christmas, like 5 years ago, bought me one of those like massage guns, like the big, huge blue thing, like you see like chiropractors using on TV or on like YouTube videos. If you're like me and watch those, like the compression, the really hardcore like back massaging things that like beat the crap out of you. And her hands are too weak to use it. So I have to, I'm like, and I'm like, it's not the same. When you use it on yourself, it's not the same. You know what I mean? I just need someone who's strong enough. And Rick says, I never understood the need for chiropractic. Well, that's cool for you, but like, I feel like I need somebody to take my shoulder blades and pick them up and just rub under my shoulder blades. So bad. I need that. I would love that. Bride's, I need to know your real name because Bride's Biscuit's a difficult thing for me to say sometimes. Like Billy says, his voice is kind of schmarmy. Now that I think about it, I mean, he's just got that like, yeah. I don't know. I can't even do his voice, but he's got that like weird voice, you know. And I'm not saying anything negative about him. These are just my interpretations, my assumptions, my perspective. I wouldn't trust him. I don't know. I just weird. Biscuit. Biscuit. All right. Like gorilla biscuits. Does he live on a boat like Elron? And Rebecca says, I didn't know that. Okay, now I view him in a different light. Interesting. I don't necessarily have anything against Scientology. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know it's a weird, highly influential in Hollywood type, lots of money behind it. But what really big religious organization isn't affluent with lots of money behind it, like the Catholic Church? They have lots of money, highly influential, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah. They have a lot of power. You're right. Yeah. Dianetics. But I don't know. I'd live on a boat. Lynn says he's not very warm and fuzzy, but that's just the vibe I get from Dr. Berg. Yeah. Biscuit says, I thought I was dead for about a second. Then I realized I could move more than a half an inch again. It did hurt like hell for a few days after mobility is back, though. I see the ones where they're pulling on their head, doing like the neck adjustments, like the Y strap. And I'm like, oh, I would love that so much. Like feel like they're going to rip your spine out of your back. Oh, yeah. Like, finish him. Raw. So I now dub you Biscuit. And Charger, I was saying with Rick, what do you think of Mr. Rogers' voice? Well, I like Mr. Rogers. He's comforting, and Mr. Rogers was a staple of our childhood, okay? He was a saint. Corruption hides in large numbers and lots and lots of money. You know what I mean? I'd live on a boat. I would live on a boat. You want to buy a boat? I'd live on a boat. Rebecca says, I hope I get to meet you someday. Would be awesome. Well, come on to the United States. I don't know how long. I don't know if I'll ever make it to Africa. Like, I would love to go to South Africa. I'd love to go and just visit I would love to visit all the continents, but I'm poor and I can barely afford to drive 2 hours to go to Cincinnati. So, you know, I mean, like, or drive, you know, like, whew, I mean, oh my goodness. Whew. Yeah. Being poor. Mr. Rogers is unassailable. You come at him and I will jump through the screen. I love him. I do like those new shorts that are coming out, like the AI shorts where he's like hanging out with Tupac. I think that's amazing. I've been called the carnivore Mr. Rogers. Do you come in and change your sweater and change your shoes and feed fish and feed your fish? Get attacked by a cat. Except you don't have ducks or iguanas as neighbors, suspiciously. Because he eats them all. Brick has been poor most of his life. I think a lot of us have. I grew up poor. Rebecca's off to bed. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing some of your time with us. I truly appreciate you. All so many thousands of miles away. I appreciate you so very much. Well, I think with all of that, I think I'll call it a day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And I will work on putting together a list. I have a list of albums from high school on my Spotify. I'll share my Spotify with everybody so anybody can look at it or whatever. I know people right now are like controversial with Spotify or whatever, and you're supposed to cancel it. Or I'm like, I can't keep up with all the stupid stuff, and I don't want to have to learn a new system. And I know whatever it is. So anyway, with that, I love all of you guys. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for your kind words about Chandra. Hopefully she feels better, because when she's sick, she treats me. She's mean to me, even though she's kind of apologized in text a little bit just from being grumpy. But I know she feels like she's in a lot of pain with that ear infection. Ear infections, it's like tooth pain. It's just like when that pain's right in your head, it's a lot to deal with. But anyway, we love each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for being here. Hopefully I get a chance to meet a lot of you. So keep tabs on me. Keep looking at things. Keep checking out KetoSimple.shop. Thank you for all of your support. Don't forget to like and go ahead and click share. Copy that link, even if you don't have to paste it anywhere. Do what you can for the channel. Truly appreciate each and every one of you. And with that, let's go to those credits, boys and girls.